All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, David.
Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. In these, do you view these more as orientation sessions than any sort of practice? And is it really just, do you try to throw as much at them as you can and see what they absorb, or is it more incremental, let's give them what they can do so they can work in next week?
I've done the throw as much at them as you can and then try to sort it out after that and see where they are. But, I think really the pandemic has taught us a lot. I think clearly the opportunity to do the Zoom calls, leading into this has been very beneficial. And I think now that, third year or fourth year of doing this process of having an opportunity to coach the football, the scheme, the language, putting the ball in play, starting points, and to see the way they've reacted to it and what they're able to do on the AM and PM work on the field is very impressive. You always hear the statement, "This is the best group we've ever had," and we feel like we say that every year. But I do not recall a young quarterback coming in here, on a tryout and commanding the huddle and the quality of just the reps of getting in and out of the huddle and the understanding being this high. And I told the group this, because really the afternoon, from here till 4 or 5 o'clock, they will spend time on the orientation, getting all the things outside of football that they need that will get done today and tomorrow, so that come Monday they can jump right in with the veterans. But yeah, I think that the quality of work that when we've been able to get done since the draft, to last night, kudos to the coaches and the players because it definitely showed up today. I've been very impressed with this group. They made a very, very strong first impression.
And so speaking of first impressions, Tyler Guyton said that he got an Airbnb a couple days after the draft. He's been up here working and certainly working with Duke and just getting to work. Is that unusual? You can just talk about what that means, what that says about him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it speaks volumes about him, and I think it's also the nature of of our business. Because if he would have been allowed by CBA rules, he would have been here the next day. But obviously having the understanding and taking advantage of the externals, and fortunate to have Duke across the street. So I think that's really the mindset of this rookie class, and Tyler's is an excellent example of that.
Do you encourage guys to work with Duke, and what is the relationship with Duke with the Cowboys?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like anything, as you learn, different relationship, different programs. I think that the fact that our offensive linemen go there, the fact that he had 45 plus offensive line working there, during that mid-period, between the end of the season to the start of the off-season program, speaks volumes. So it's an excellent program, and it's right across the street. So.
Mike, Todd Arch with ESPN. To be on the field with Mike Zimmer, what's this been like through phase 2 of the off-season program and into this?
No, it's been good. I think just like anything, Mike's in year 1 and we're kind of year 2 in the offense, and I think just the way we're working compared to the way he's working, reflects that. So, the biggest thing for Mike is to get the language change. It's his language, so that's been an adjustment for everybody. So we're working through that, and all indications are we're off to a good start there, and obviously there's going to be some technique changes, particularly up front. So we're doing the best we can as far as the climate that we have to operate in, as far as the roles and what you can do. So, but no, I think Mike's off to an excellent start, him and the defensive staff.
Can you tell that he missed not being on the field coaching?
Definitely. I mean, you saw that early. He's definitely missed being out there, and I think just like anything, when the players are here, whether it's off-season program, training camp, mini camps, especially in season, that's to me, that's when this place is really buzzing. It's a whole different energy, and that's something I know we all enjoy as a coaching staff.
John Machota with The Athletic. Is there any advantages at all with having a Tyler Guyton and a Cooper Beebe both being on the offensive line, high picks, but then maybe being able to work together because of maybe what their NFL futures are?
Yeah, definitely. I think as much, across the hall, whether it's offense, defense, veteran, rookies, all those things are important. I mean, it's it's really cool what I know the offensive players did last night. They got together on their own over at the hotel and worked another 45, 50 minutes just together. So you can talk about it, you can recommend it, but when you see these guys doing the extra work and realizing the importance of the opportunity that they have, and as I've told them in a team meeting, I mean this is a really special, cool time of your life, and it's really a 5-year sequence that you can change not only your own life but your family's trajectory of what's out there. So it's what you're looking for. Like I said, they've made a huge first impression on everybody, and I talk to everybody. I talk to the people that pick them up at the airport. I talk to people that drop them off at the hotel. So I mean they're always being evaluated because it's important, because there's so much out there about culture, and everybody has a great culture, but culture never stays the same. So their responsibility is to come in and help us advance our culture, and it's something you have to establish every single year. And like I said, they made a huge impression today for day one, and I hope that they stay above the standard tomorrow. And then it's always cool when you see them integrate with the veterans, and that'll occur on Monday.
When you mentioned the culture thing, I don't know if that's it, but what would be the biggest difference that maybe you talked to the rookies about from your first year as NFL head coach till now? Like, is there anything that's changed, or is your message pretty similar then as it is today?
The PowerPoint's the same. It's better. It better be. I mean, it's the 18th time I've used it, but no, it's definitely different. I mean, let's be honest. Back in my first year as a head coach was 2006. There's been 2 CBAs since then, so that in itself makes it very different. We used to have full practices, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There was a time where you took them down there twice a day. There was a time where you had, the number of tryout players. I've been part of a program where you did it the week after, immediately after the draft, so you're able to have more players. So I've done it different ways. I think clearly with the last CBA and training the way we do, and just really putting as much energy as we possibly can in the classroom environment, the teaching environment, and laying a really good foundation, before they get here, and then to see the way they, were able to apply it today. That's really what we're looking for. But yeah, it's some things are the same, but obviously the climate's so different than the early years.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How impressed were you with Marshawn in terms of preparing for the draft, considering he had lost his mom and those kinds of right before the combine?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why you just got to trust the whole process. And I think when you really do get down to those types of decisions, you just can never really get too far away from the video. And I think as we all recognized, and I'm sure the whole league recognized, his play style is exactly what you're looking for. There's some comparables to D-Law, and that's a tremendous compliment for any young player to be compared to DeMarcus. So, yes, and he's made a really good first impression too. I think he's a little bigger than we may have thought he was. Because it's like anything. You're watching these guys on film, you see them at the combine, but the training for the combine is different than football training. So it's good to get them back in a football environment. All those guys. So, but made an excellent impression today.
Yeah, one running back is Pete. What did you like about him?
Yeah, I mean, evaluation part of it. Let's can we go full speed in underwear before we get to that? No, but I tell you, smart. Picked it up. Yeah, no, definitely. I think the first thing I always look for, can he play 3 downs? I'll tell you what, he understands blitz pickup. Obviously his natural run skills and ability to play out of the backfield is there. But the thing I wanted to see, because we hit these guys with some a full blitz period and threw some things at them. So it isn't like we just lined up and played cover 2 every snap. So and he did a nice job.
Yeah. Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com, kind of along those same lines. Was there an emphasis in assembling the UDFA group? And I know it's early, but any early impressions of that group too?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think we do. I think people are starting to copy our process. With the rookie free agents. There's a lot of time and energy that goes into that. I think clearly the way we're able to lock players down at the rate, the timing that we do after the draft speaks to the efficiency of our operation. And I think we have 9 in our building from prior years. So, yeah, I mean that's a great market to be in. So, I'm excited to see these guys integrate.
Was there an emphasis in finding guys on the defensive side of the ball that have strength in the run game?
Well, you have numbers. I mean, you're obviously you're building a 90-man roster, so you definitely have positional numbers that you're usually really focusing on at that time of the draft and so forth. But yeah, our defensive front is a focus, clearly.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. What have you been able to learn about Tyler Guyton from just having been around him now for a bit?
Well, I mean, it's good to see him on the field. He's obviously his size and athletic ability, and he's young. That's exciting. Very passionate. Has been very enthusiastic. About his opportunity. But I really do like how young and raw he is. So I think he has a tremendous upside.
And you mentioned just how much. I mean, so much of the spring in general has changed, but rookie minicamp is being an example of it. What do you miss the most in terms of if you could go back a decade or two and pull one thing that you lost and no longer have and get it back again and apply it to this weekend, what would it be?
Rookie minicamp?
Yeah.
I'd say the numbers, but you're not going to do that you're not going to get to that, doing the rookie orientation camp 2 weeks after the draft. I know when you do it the week after, you're able to bring in more players. So I would say that's the only thing that I'd look at. But clearly the way we do it today is a smarter way. And you have to stay within the rules, too. Because I don't know if there's rules that everybody follows to the T. So.
You're great.
Oh, yeah, I'm very good at it, yes.
Todd.
Sadius with The Athletic. Mike, the first year that you were coaching, it was even before smartphones were around. Just when you look at the way, not just
Damn.
wow,
Damn.
when you look at just not even just the CBA,
I'm trying to remember what phone I had back then.
When you first
Flip phone, yeah.
the bag full.
not just the CBA and stuff, but when you look at how like society and everything else, the way, and we talk about NIL and all this other stuff. What do you see from these kids coming in, and what kind of differences do you see in how you have to approach their development?
Obviously exposed a lot more, and I think that's from a business perspective that you've already touched on. You're seeing a different athlete. I mean, you have players that have moved around more. So I think just like anything, when you do move and change, there's more adjustment, but also more experience and knowledge that they bring. We had an opportunity last night to meet and and they weren't prepared for it, but just to have each one of them stand up and talk, and I thought every single one of them, to a man, represented themselves very well. So the maturity in communications, where I'm going with, I think their ability to communicate was definitely something that was impressive. And I think generations before there's the less you say, probably the better. But I think they're able to express themselves more. But yes, I think clearly this next generation of players that are going to come into our league. So this is what the first, or even the NIL generation, whatever you want to call it. So it'll be interesting then, how different it is.
And you talked about the quarterback kind of impressing you. When a guy comes in on a tryout, and he's your only tryout, well, what's the message to him in terms of his future in the building, and what do you kind of tell him of what he needs to be doing? Well,
I think the biggest thing is, you want to make sure you give him a real opportunity. I mean, so, I think if you, bring players in and it's just, already resolved on what you're going to do, that's a closed way of thinking. Do we think we're going to take 4 quarterbacks to training camp? Maybe not. But this will be a conversation after tomorrow. So I mean, you're always projecting numbers. Everyone here knows we have 85 players in camp. And I do spend time educating them on how our league works. I said, there's 85 on the roster, and I said there may be 90. By the time we go to Oxnard, there may be 87, there may be 88. But the point I'm making is, rosters are always moving and developing. So, and just to make sure that they're clearly taking advantage of your opportunity every single day. So, and I think these guys understand that, and just the way they really came out today, and they had excellent retention from what they've been through in the last 10 days or 2 weeks. So they definitely got the message.
Scott. Skyler Dixon with the AP. That it may be a little early for this, but I was just curious what kind of conversations you and the staff are having about teaching and implementation on this kickoff change, if it's significant enough that you guys are going to have to think about how you kind of put that together after so many years of the kickoff being kind of an afterthought.
Well, it's not too early. We've started the process. I've given John Fossil my team meeting time in certain segments of the phase 2. So what we've been able to do, by rule, of phase 2, we have implemented that because it is. You look at the number of plays on special teams. This is going to impact the special teams, volume, and definitely can impact the game. So, just like anything, you got to make sure the time on task reflects, the play time and how we feel this is going to impact our game. So, yeah, we definitely have already started the process.
Do you think it's going to change much which guys might be returning kicks, or do you think it'll be kind of the traditional sort of prototype of that?
What would you classify as prototype?
Well, I guess, smaller, faster guys, is it still that, or is it somebody who maybe just needs a little open space, that you're always trying to get open space, on offense and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to say this with a straight face. We're just kicking the can down the road here a little bit, see how it goes. So we don't want to talk about it much. John doesn't talk much at all to the media, so he's we've had to put a gag over on him. So
Mike Leslie, WFA. Coach, what did you think of, I guess still early on in this process, but what did you think about Harris as he's moved into the assistant head coach role and how he's adapted to that?
Yeah, I love the way Al's responded to this opportunity. He's been Johnny on the spot with everything that I've asked him to do, and more importantly, it gives him an opportunity to not only grow as a coach, but grow as an individual in his profession. So he's doing an excellent job.
How much changes for him?
That's time, responsibility. Yeah, it's just like anything. You can't give someone a title just to give him a title. I want to make sure he has an opportunity to grow, personally and professionally, and that's in place. So yeah, he's been given more job responsibility.
Hard to keep.
You talked about being on Zoom with the guys. How did that work? And you start the next day.
Read the CBA. It's right there.
I'm just, how's that? You guys implemented that with these young guys?
Yeah, definitely. You're allotted. You're allotted so many hours. And that's just something that we took the end of the day. Just one position coach per player. I think it's 1 hour. So, if you have 3 offensive linemen, then we have to coordinate that with the staff. So, yeah, we took as much time as they were allotted, and the big thing is also encourage our veterans to reach out to the rookies, and they did. So to establish that too, and I know some of our rookies seeked out some of our veterans to try to get a head start on what we're doing. So we have tried every angle that we possibly can to make their orientation as smooth as possible.
Along those lines, Marshawn said that he and DeMarcus haven't spoken yet. How do you, this might be generally this specific situation, but as a coaching staff, obviously you want to encourage as much spreading of knowledge as possible, but also DeMarcus has his own responsibilities and his own commitments. Yeah. How do you kind of manage, wanting those things to happen organically and maybe balancing that with?
Well, Michael, you really answered it. I think just like anything, and I'm very conscientious of it. When you're dealing with instruction, trying to grow a program, you have fabricated, relationships and responsibility. And you have organic. Organic's obviously the best. So there's time for that. I'm just giving you insight to the short window that we've had with these guys since the draft. But, the organic connection is really what you're looking for. And I mean, hell, you're seeing it with you're seeing it with the veterans. When the offensive perimeter goes off site and works together. Those are great opportunities. Because those guys have been. We have 16 workouts already, concept teaching, and so they have the information and obviously an understanding to go do it, on their own time at an external facility. So, and that is, those are high quality workouts and opportunities, for our guys, and it's clearly organic. So, I mean, you definitely want as much organic as possible.
Joe White, Lone Star Live. Cooper Beebe said since the draft that he's been snapping to anyone who can catch it, whether it's family or teammates in the hotel ballroom. I'm just curious what you've seen from him in the short time. I mean, just based off we had 14 periods, just based on what we've seen today, I think he's off to a good start. He looked very comfortable doing it.
Pat. Hey, Mike, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Just out of curiosity, when obviously linebacker rookies, you have a group. Offensive line, you have a group. But when you have a lone wolf, so to speak, like Nathaniel Pete, does you guys' approach to rookie minicamp for him, does that change versus if there were a group of rookie running backs coming in?
Absolutely. Great question. Best question of the day, frankly. It's the depth chart. I mean, our practice structure reflects our depth chart. You have to. We have, because if you don't have 5 linemen, then you got to, you may have to do some half line. So those types of things are different on defense. But yeah, I've always tweaked the practice schedule to the depth chart of the rookie orientation.
Go. You guys had Zay Jones in here for a visit. Obviously, he signed for Arizona. Besides CD and Cooks, how do you look at that receiver room right now?
Oh, I like a receiver room. I think our young guys are definitely going to make the jump. I think Terp's having a good offseason. Jalen Tolbert's having a great offseason. JB Brooks is having. I mean, these guys have been here day one. I say day one. I mean, they've been here since the season's concluded. So yes, it's been very competitive. They've done a lot of work on their own. They've done the workouts away from here with Dak. So. And the reason why I'm excited because you see the timing, you see the connection with the quarterback, the passing game, and I know we're on routes on air now, but I think there's clearly a higher understanding not only what they need to do, but what the quarterback's doing, how it all fits together. So I mean, we're kind of going through a normal year 2 of our offense. Now we've had a year to run our schemes and concepts that we believe in, and been able to correct them, throw out some, maybe add some, give variation to the ones we want to continue on. So it's been really good. We got 2 more days of what we refer to as concept teach to get everything in that we really want to emphasize, and then when we get to the OTAs, then we'll go through our 8 installs. So, but no, I feel really good about the perimeter and the line. Yeah, and the line. So good. Right. Thank you.
What don't you feel good about?
Say again?
What don't you feel good about?